What if the universe is not silent, but constantly speaking, not in words, not in sounds, but in patterns? What if every leaf, every wave, every star in the sky is part of a message? A language that has always been here, waiting to be seen. Sacred geometry teaches us something profound. The universe doesn't just exist, it communicates, and its language is geometry. Think about any language that you know. Words are just symbols, letters arranged in patterns that carry meaning. Without structure, language would be chaos. Now imagine trying to communicate something without words. You might draw a shape, a symbol, a pattern, because patterns can communicate meaning without explanation. Now look at nature. A flower unfolds in symmetry. A spider weaves a precise web. Waves move in rhythmic patterns. It's as if nature is speaking through form, and what it's using is geometry. So, at its core, any language is simply pattern plus meaning. Letters from words, words from sentences, or sentences from ideas. Geometry works the same way. Points form lines, lines form shapes, and shapes form structures. But instead of communicating ideas, geometry communicates how reality is structured. It is a language not of description, but of creation itself. Let's look at how geometry is how the invisible speaks through the visible. You see, the universe is made of both the seen and the unseen. Energy, consciousness, intention. These are not directly visible, yet they express themselves through form. And the way they do that is through geometric pattern. A snowflake doesn't randomly form, it follows precise symmetry. And a galaxy doesn't randomly spin, it follows a spiraled structure. These forms are not just beautiful, they are expressions of underlying intelligence. Now, geometry is how that intelligence becomes visible. So, let's explain a little bit how sacred geometry is a universal language. You see, human languages change depending on culture, but geometry is universal. So a circle means the same thing anywhere, and a spiral behaves the same way across nature. A triangle holds the same structural integrity no matter where you are. And this is why sacred geometry appears across ancient civilizations that never interacted. Temples, mandalas, pyramids, and sacred art all reflect the same geometric patterns, but they were not invented, they were observed, discovered as the underlying language of existence. You see, geometry communicates through resonance, and here's where it becomes deeper. Geometry doesn't just communicate visually, it communicates energetically. Certain patterns feel harmonious, balanced, complete. Others feel chaotic or unstable. This is because geometry reflects relationships and ratios, and those ratios create resonance. This is the same principle behind music. Certain notes sound harmonious together because of their ratios. In the same way, certain shapes and patterns create a sense of harmony within us because we are made of the same patterns. You see, you are both the reader and the expression. You are not separate from this language. You are both, the one who perceives it and the one expressing it. Your body is geometric structure. Your thoughts follow patterns. Your life unfolds in cycles and rhythms. And you are constantly communicating through your energy, your actions, and your presence, which means you are not just living in creation, you are participating in its language. So, when you begin to see geometry as a language, something shifts. You stop looking at the world as random objects and you start seeing it as a meaningful pattern. You begin to ask different questions. What is this pattern showing me? What is being expressed here? Or what is trying to come into form? Because even your own life becomes something that you can read. the patterns in your experiences, the cycles that you move through, the structures that keep repeating. All of it is part of a deeper communication. Sacred geometry teaches us that life is not silent, it is always speaking. So the question is, are we paying attention? So for the next few days, I want you to observe the world as if it is speaking to you through pattern. Look at nature, look at movement, look at repetition and symmetry. And instead of just seeing it, feel into it. What does it communicate? What does it reflect? Because the more you begin to recognize this language, the more you begin to understand something profound. The universe is not separate from you, it is expressing itself through you, just as much as it is expressing itself around you. So if you're ready to go deeper into the language of creation, join me for the next lesson in sacred geometry, because once you learn to see the patterns, you begin to understand the message. And once you understand the message, you begin to understand your place within it. And I'll see you guys in the next video.